what's up YouTube? My name is Yate Yashiral. If you're brand new to the channel, I talk about the economy. I talk about what's going on in the world. You probably want to join this channel if you want to be updated. I appreciate everybody that's been tuned in. First of all, before we get this video started, I would like y'all to comment below how long have you been watching and where are you watching from. This video right here is about mass layoffs. Once again, a sad topic to be discussing, but this is a real topic to be discussing because this is America. This is 2025, and this is what's happening in 2025. Jobs are letting people go by the thousands. Family, you already know what to do, and if you're brand new too, thumbs up this video so YouTube can push this content out. Smash subscribe to join the tribe, and ring the post notification bell as well. All right, we're going to get into this one, man. Let's get into it. Let's go.
Lewiston-based Central Maine Healthcare just announced plans to lay off up to 100 workers, about 3% of its workforce, amid ongoing financial struggles. The cuts come as the system moves towards being acquired by Prime Healthcare, a for-profit chain based in California. So that deal is expected to close by the end of the year, pending regulatory approval. So this isn't just a local story. Prime has already expanded into Illinois this year, acquiring 8 hospitals from Ascension. Now it's looking to enter Maine, a rural state already struggling with access to care. Central Maine Healthcare includes 3 hospitals: Central Maine Medical Center in Lewiston, Bridgeton Hospital, and Rumford Hospital, along with a cancer center and outpatient practices. The health system declined to comment to local media when asked about the layoffs themselves. These kinds of workforce cuts before a corporate takeover are not uncommon, but they're devastating for staff and patients, and they raise serious questions about what kind of care rural communities can expect once these deals go through.
So currently, because of all the layoffs, I have a few friends that are interviewing, and for one of the interviews that my friend went to, she had to do a Draw My Life series for an interview for an IoT company. And it's very funny because I don't even know what I would say in that Draw My Life series that would make me a compelling candidate for that company. Do I just draw my life and tell them hey, ever since I was a little girl, I really wanted to bring shareholder value and hit the KPIs and optimize our OKRs for the organization? I don't know what they want to hear, especially if they're asking for something so ludicrous. And I feel like with the interview process now, they are being way more picky and going through way more rounds, and you got to do stuff I don't know, tell them your whole life story in order to get a job, and you have to tell them something super compelling and almost lie to them and say, yeah, I've always dreamed of working at this IoT company.
Spend my first day unemployed with me after being laid off from my corporate job. I honestly knew today would be a hard day for me, so I really wanted to prioritize getting out of the house. So I decided to go on a 7-mile walk and reconnect with nature after how crazy this week has been. Honestly, if you just got laid off too, I highly recommend taking long walks because they fill so much time of your day, and you're also just getting out in the sun and you're able to think and reflect on a lot. And while I was on my walk, I also stopped by Barnes & Nobles. Fun fact, I used to be a really avid reader, but with my corporate job, also doing content creation on the side and how much I exercise, there was just no time to fit in reading too. But now that I'm laid off, that's not a problem. I literally came in only meaning to grab 2 books, but left with 3. And then after all that walking, I was so hungry, so I went over to Sweet Greens. And y'all, one thing about me, I'm a Sweet Greens addict. I ended up trying their new peach summer bowl and added chicken, and y'all, it was so good. This is definitely one of the best Sweet Green salads I've ever had. And then after that, I headed home because it was time to get ready for a baseball game. I went out to a Nationals game, and it was my first time ever going, and I literally told my friend just that, and she was in shock.
My first game, doing touristy things after living here forever.
How many years?
3, and then college.
In college, yeah.
We were actually watching the game from the PNC Diamond Club area, and y'all, if you have not been to a baseball game yet this summer, let this be your sign to go. It was generally one of the most fun sporting events I've ever been to, almost even funner than a basketball game, honestly. And honestly, just being around such a good friend this day made my mood so much better, and I'm definitely going to prioritize spending time with friends now that I'm laid off. But yeah, that's all for day 1. Follow along to see how I end up spending my time and figuring stuff out.
If you've been laid off, most definitely get out the house. Most definitely go for a walk. People act like walking is like a crime or something. They act like you just the brokest man or woman in the world if you go walk. No, get out and walk. It's good for your mental health. It's good for you to see nature. It's good for you to be out there with nature. Go out, walk, connect with others, tap in with friends or family that'll be there to support you and uplift you. That's what you should do. You shouldn't be spending money that you don't have though, right? So maybe a friend can take you out, can treat you, but if you don't have that money, it's not time to be spending that money because you got to make your next move your best move. I'm just giving you a suggestion. That's all I'm doing. Because listen, if you've been following the elites, you know that mass layoffs are a part of the 2030 agenda. If you do not know about the 2030 agenda, this is something that I speak about on this channel, and this is something you should be doing research on. So you'll be up to date about why these mass layoffs are happening. As you probably have been hearing, AI will be replacing a lot of jobs. Automation will be replacing a whole lot of jobs. A lot of jobs will be outsourced, those that are in third world countries in general, because they do cheap labor. There are plenty of people that'll work for $5 a day. Companies are trying to save money right now. Companies are reducing their workload and their overhead right now. Times are not just tough for employees, but they're also tough for employers.
If you have less than $1 million in assets, please listen to me very carefully. The market right now is down 1,600 points again today. We are not only headed for a recession, but a possible depression. Okay, so what's the next domino to fall when markets crash? Companies are going to start announcing mass layoffs. If you have a job, okay, and you don't have at least $1 million in assets to ride out this wave, please go to your boss and say, is my job secure? And if the company starts to pursue layoffs, what would I need to do to secure my job? Take on other duties, work more hours, do whatever you can, because getting another job to replace the one you lose is going to be extremely difficult in this economic environment. And it doesn't look like it's gonna get better anytime soon. It's getting worse by the hour. Please protect yourself and your family and your job before it's too late.
So my company laid me off. Okay, whatever. My thing is, I stayed up till 1 in the morning trying to do this HIPAA training. Y'all couldn't have told me I didn't have to fucking do the training before I stayed up till 1 in the morning trying to do this fucking training, and I don't even need the fucking training anymore. Like, do you understand how long that HIPAA fucking training? If you've ever had to take a HIPAA assessment, that bitch is long as fuck. Long as fuck. Okay, I stayed up till 1 in the morning. 1 in the morning, mind you. Yes, we had enough time to do it. I procrastinated. I did it on the last minute. But there was a meeting in the book since Thursday. So y'all knew since Thursday of last week, y'all were going to lay me off. They didn't add me into the meeting until today, obviously, for obvious reasons. However, the meeting was in the book since Thursday. Because once I got added to the fucking meeting, then I saw, like, all of the notes and shit. Y'all knew since last Thursday, y'all were going to lay my ass off. Y'all couldn't have told me, like, hey, Abby, don't even worry about it, girl. Don't even worry about it. I'm like, there's a lot of things that I'm just processing right now, but y'all making me do that fucking HIPAA training, and then I don't even get to keep the certificate anymore is the one part that I'm just like, y'all could have just been like, bro, don't do it. Don't even send it to my motherfucking email, honestly.
Today I saw not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 black creators, women, say they got laid off from their job today. This comes after the news that 300,000 black women have been laid off so far in 2025. I scrolled some more on my timeline. I seen like 4 videos of black women saying they have been applying to jobs since January of this year. It is now August and they have yet to receive a call back. I got 2 homegirls right now that do DoorDash and Uber Eats for a living. And my city just made it illegal to be homeless on the streets. This economy, this job market, this administration can go straight to hell. If you have a job, it don't matter if you don't like it. Do not quit, because these people is not hiring. A few years ago, Indeed used to be that girl. It used to be so easy to get a job. Now it's like ghost positions. They're just pretending to hire you. Then you gotta fill out an assessment, upload your resume, your cover letter, do an interview, then do another interview just to not get hired. I find all my jobs on a Facebook group called Amber, your work from home homegirl. I posted it before, but I'm gonna post it again. I don't think anything is gonna change, y'all, until we strike. I feel like we need to boycott McDonald's, Amazon, don't pay rent, something. We can't just lay down and take it.
I'm not going to say that boycotting won't work or it will work. I think it's best that the people stand up for what they believe in. One thing about Americans, we kind of tend to let everything go. We let them do what they want to do, meaning the government, without us even saying anything. We might speak online, but we don't take it to the streets. Back in the day, they used to boycott. It is some change that could happen within boycotting. But at the same time, when they want to force their hand, they're going to force their hand. When they have these agendas set in place and they've signed this at the Earth Summit in Rio de Janeiro, 1992, and this has been falling into place slowly but surely since then, it's pretty much nothing you could do, right? Especially as far as the workforce goes, unless you take things into your own hands. Unless you get out of their system, stop depending on their system and depend on the Most High first and then yourself. That's the best thing you could do thus far and moving forward. Middle class is going to be eradicated whether you like it or not. Cryptocurrency and digital currencies are going to be a thing and going to replace the US dollar and every single country's dollar, whether you like it or not. Digital currencies, stable coins are the new monetary system, right? September, the monetary system is going to start to change. Either you're going to see it and be a part of this change and actually benefit from this innovation, or you're going to be left behind, whether you like it or not. This will be either the greatest time of your life or the worst time of your life, depending on what you've been investing in throughout these past few years, or beginning now, which you'll invest in starting now throughout these next few years. Unlearn to relearn. Unlearn the old habits and the old tactics that you've been taught, and learn about the new ways that you should be operating. Everything that you've been taught has been a lie. That's surface level. You got to learn about the new monetary system, learn about ISO 222 coins. You got to learn about stable coins, the difference between stable coins and cryptocurrency, and why you should be investing into cryptos and not stable coins, because that's the new form of slavery coming through those stable coins. I always sprinkle little gems here for y'all to do research on them. I can't fulfill everything that I want to throughout these videos with these small segments of me talking. But what I can do is sprinkle keywords that y'all can research. That's all I can do for y'all. But layoffs are not going to stop. Elon said all jobs will be taken by AI. The World Economic Forum also agrees that, listen, when jobs are gone, they're going to give people drugs and video games, along with UBI, Universal Basic Income. You got to take things into your own hand at this time, because the jobs are not going to protect you.
Today is my last day. Wow.
I was laid off from my job 8 months ago. Here's an update. It feels crazy to say that that happened 8 months ago, because it definitely feels like time has elapsed, but I don't feel like I'm fully on the other side of it where I'm like, yes, I did it. I figured it out. I'm very much still in it, if you will. Your economic status can play a role in your identity. It probably shouldn't, but it can, right? And I think that I'm discovering that it has played a role in my identity for a long time. There are very few times in my life where I didn't have a job. Even when I was in high school, I had a job. When I was in college, I had jobs. When I graduated from college, I immediately started working. So now that I don't have a traditional job, I'm doing a lot of mental work to figure out who I am. Because I had traditional jobs, I knew that my check was coming every 2 weeks. As a full-time content creator, that is not how it works. So I'm experiencing a lot of anxiety because this is so different than what I was formerly dealing with. You may have heard on the news that there were 1,300 or so employees that were let go of the State Department in Washington, D.C. Depending on when you started following me, you may or may not know that I'm a former employee of the U.S. Department of State. I'm from Washington, D.C., and I worked for DOS for 6 years in 2 different bureaus. When I heard the news about the layoff at DOS, I, of course, was heartbroken for those individuals who are affected. And I also realized that if I had still been working there, and if I had never made the move that I made to New York, and I kept with my good government job, I mean, y'all, I really thought that having a government job meant that you had security and stability. This situation has really showed me that, like, nothing is secure. Nothing is stable. And I think I had in my mind that, like, if I had stayed in that career path, I had like a stable way of like always making a living. And most definitely in 2025, we are all seeing that that is not the case. So I say all this to say that I realized that if I had stayed in the office that I was working, there is like a 99% chance that I also would have been laid off from that job. There have been times throughout my journey where I start to feel regret about leaving the stability of my former life. And I think that this situation kind of reframed that for me, that moving to New York City and giving giving my dreams a try and a fair chance was definitely still worth it. Obviously, it doesn't come without complication. In my last update, I shared that my eye was twitching. It was twitching up here at the top, and then I think it was the bottom of this one or this one, I can't remember now. But it has stopped. My eye has stopped twitching. I feel great about that. My sleep, she's still suspect. I need to be drinking some more water, but one step at a time. The anxiety that I feel being a full-time creator is primarily because of the unpredictable income. That is something that if you are considering this, that you really need to develop a plan to make sure that you are going to be okay. And so
I just got laid off 4 weeks before I was supposed to go on maternity leave. Let's talk about it. This has been such a crazy month, guys. Like, I cannot believe I'm telling this story, but let's get into it. Midway through my pregnancy, I got a new manager, and I had already told my old manager that I was pregnant, and that went incredibly well. He was very supportive. He said all the right things. Around mid-April, I got a new manager, and I ended up telling them on their 3rd week that I was expecting. It was about 20 weeks at this time, and actually the reason I told them I was really nervous to tell them is because work wanted me to fly out to Georgia to do some stuff, and my doctors 100% did not want me traveling to the south during my pregnancy, and so I had to decline that trip, and I needed a reason, so I told them I was expecting. That conversation went really weirdly. They didn't say congrats. They asked a couple questions that I thought were like kind of awkward. I chalked it up to maybe they were just like really surprised it was week 3. I was one of their only direct reports, or maybe they were just like panicking that I was going to be out really soon. It wasn't any like total red flags. It was just like slight pink flags where I'm like, oh, that was a very awkward conversation. The way you file for maternity leave where I was working is because it's a big company, you file with a third-party provider, and they actually take care of everything, so you don't go through your own company's HR. Third party goes through absolutely everything and files with the state of California, and then files with your company once you're ready. So I reached out to the third-party company to start that process, and ended up fully filing for my maternity leave a couple weeks ago. On a Tuesday, the third-party company reached out to me and said that I'm fully filed. I ended up getting 7 months off. All of this was fully paid, and so on that Tuesday when everything was like tidied up and signed up, I reached out to my manager and I told him, hey, I put this on our one-on-one agenda. I finally know how long I'm going to be out for. And they did not respond, which I thought was a little bit weird. And then Wednesday I followed up with like, here's my out of office plan for when I am out of office for 7 months. And Friday morning at 9 a.m. I get a call from my manager and HR telling me that I've been laid off. They did not have a valid reason. They were like, hey, unfortunately, your position's been eliminated and offer you 13 weeks of severance. Thank you for your time. And they were waiting for me to say something. So I was like, oh, is this retaliation for me telling you that I'm taking my maternity leave and it's going to be longer than you expected? And HR ended up freaking out and ending the call early because they just didn't know what to say, and they knew that they were in a losing position on a call. So they wanted to switch over to email. I also ended up contacting a employment lawyer in California who gave me advice. I didn't end up working with them. We didn't go through litigation. I'm not filing a lawsuit. I am super pregnant and like about to give birth, so I didn't want to go through all of that hassle. I just wanted a really fair settlement. And alhamdulillah, I ended up with an incredibly fair settlement. They paid me out for all of my maternity leave and then some out of the pitiful 13 weeks that they offered me at first. So now I guess I'm on a paid maternity break, which is what I wanted to begin with. But yeah, I am taking a very well-deserved career break. I'm gonna hop back into the market probably early next year. But for now, I'm just relaxing, just waiting for baby girl to get here, nesting as much as possible.
Today is my first official day unemployed, so I'm so excited to be leaving the house and getting out tonight. I'm going out to a Nationals basketball game, and I have not been to a basketball game. Oh wait, oh my gosh. Baseball game, and I'm so excited because I literally have not been to a baseball game since I was in high school. And this morning I was trying to figure out what to wear last minute, and I was like, I don't even think I have any baseball game fits. So I bought 2 of the Nationals hats, and they're actually so cute, and I feel like they make the outfit. Here's a little quick preview of what they look like. I'm gonna end up wearing this one. I think this one actually looks better, but it fits so weird on my head. Who knew getting a baseball hat could be so complex? Anyways, I want to give you guys proper life updates and more information about my actual layoff. Long story short, I found out I was getting laid off like 2 weeks ago, literally the second I got home from my Europe trip. And when I say the second, it wasn't even 24 hours. Like, I got off the plane, went to bed, woke up, had a 9 a.m. meeting on my calendar. And mind you, I don't even have 9 a.m. meetings on my calendar ever because I work in California time. So when I saw it was like 9 a.m. EST, I was like, oh shit, it's not looking good. And while I was on vacation, I found out a lot of people from my team were laid off, but like not the entire team. So I was low-key having anxiety on vacation. I was like, okay, is it gonna be me too? Is it not? I don't know. Also, while I was on vacation, vacation, I had like a really bad friend argument to the point where like I'm not friends with that person anymore. Long story short, like they basically did me super dirty and I had to end the friendship. And I was really upset because I take my friendship super seriously. And it was someone that I had been friends for years. And they honestly just did something like I just could not have foreseen coming. And like they didn't take any accountability. And I was like, okay, you just did something so shitty. You can't take accountability for this terrible thing. So this just needs to end. And also, this friend is not Eunice. That is my girl. We had such a fun time. This actually all started when I left her and I didn't end up posting that friend even. So I'm like, thank goodness. Like, it's literally not even a story I could make up. When I told my mom, she was just dead silent. And I was like, hello, like, are you on the phone? Because my mom usually interrupts me. Like, love my mom down, but we're like yappers and we interrupt each other when we talk sometimes. And she was just silent when I told her this story. So I was like, oh my God. So mind you, I'm going through something like that. I'm abroad. I'm hearing people are getting laid off. I'm just like, fuck. And then I get home from the trip after it being kind of bad partially. Like the beginning was so great. I'm so thankful for that. But then it kind of like went downhill after that friend thing. And then right when I got home is like when the layoffs happened. And also my plane home was like delayed because of the storms. And not delayed as in we were on the ground. We were just flying in the airs in circles. I'm like, fuck. So all that to say, when I found out, I was actually really upset. Like that was just my 13th reason at the moment. And I honestly didn't think I was going to be like as sad as I was, but I just felt like everything was like out of my control. And I feel like that feeling of like out of control, like what's happening right now, honestly just triggers back a feeling I felt to like when my dad passed. And I feel like that week was like one of the lowest weeks I've honestly had since then. Like I'm not trying to be dramatic or anything. It was just so low. And I honestly feel like part of the reason why I was so upset too is that I was also coming up from being on vacation and like surrounded by people 24/7 to like just being alone in my apartment with like all these things and like processing so much. And also like I usually talk to people like for work throughout the day 24/7. So it's like I just had like nothing to do. And like even thinking about it, I'm like, damn, sis was down bad. Like it got to a point at the end of the week, I was so upset. I called my friend Amaya just to vent to her like on the phone. Like first thing in the morning, I didn't even drink my coffee yet. I was just like, I feel like really not okay. And I just started bursting out crying on the phone with her. And mind you, I'm not even the kind of person that like cries ever. So like I was in shock. I even cried on the phone. So I literally cannot talk and do my makeup. Doing Get Ready With Me is so hard. But yeah, after that phone call with my bestie, I felt a lot better. And then I feel like the next week, like I really just prioritized spending time with like my friends and stuff, like before the official layoff, and also like doing my transition, like leaving work documents. But then that's how life was hitting me. I was just falling back. But then I ended up getting sick and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Like but after being sick, I felt better again. And then I went to New York City and I had a really fun weekend. And this week I've been doing good, like definitely just prioritizing time with friends. The actual layoff yesterday was so sad. Like I was just saying bye to like my coworkers. We just all on a call and like it just all hit me then. And like I was just freaking out again, like having really bad anxiety. Even when I woke up this morning, it's just like a pit of anxiety. And it's like it's just a lot. But the good news is I have a lot of fun stuff planned this weekend. I'm actually going to a lot of free things this weekend. Like tonight, my friend Jess is the one that invited me to the Nationals game. And she's also a content creator, so she got invited and she's taking me as a +1. And I'm like, thank goodness. Laid off, girly, I might need to start saving some coins. And tomorrow night, I have some really other fun plans. And I'm just like, thank goodness. Like if I was alone this weekend, I think that really would have been like my 13th reason and I wouldn't be in a good headspace. And all that to say too, I'm so thankful for my friends. I feel like bad times in life are like always gonna happen, like they're inevitable, but like the village and the people around you really just make hard times so much more manageable. Sorry guys, I started rushing, so I had to do the rest of my makeup off camera, but here's the final look. I also want to say thank you guys so much. I was holding on the hat, so I was gonna put it on at the end. I want to say thank you guys so much for all the love and support around like the layoff and my situation. I just read the comments while I was getting ready for this video on my last one where like I announced everything, and I love y'all so bad. Like it's so nice to see so much positivity, and my heart goes out to anyone experiencing something similar right now because it could definitely be very stressful. And I'm talking so fast because I really gotta go, so that's all. Bye guys.
It is crazy to think richest man in the world decided to take a literal chainsaw to the federal government while he was probably on drugs. This was me in December 2023. I was so excited to be part of the federal government, to reduce health disparities. This is exactly what I got my PhD to do. I was in an elite leadership program and everything came to a screeching halt. You could not have told me this would have been like not in my wildest dreams. Ironically, I set my intentions for 2025 to 3 words: authenticity, alignment, and being bold. And now that I've lost my job, I'm like, Anna, we're gonna do it. Here's to what's next.
Yo, family, let me know what y'all think about this video, man. Let me know what you think about these mass layoffs. Listen, I gave y'all some game. I hope y'all do some research on it. Once again, I'm going to be building a community for y'all so we can tap in on a more in-depth level to where I can share day-to-day resources with y'all. Also, the things that y'all should be doing and what you should be paying attention to. There's a lot of distractions going on. There's a lot of information that's being suppressed to where they don't want y'all to see it, man. They don't want y'all to see it. They want y'all to be distracted by all of these people that are going to jail right now. To be real, the Diddy case, Queso, Cash Out getting locked up. All of these celebrities that are going to jail right now, they're doing them strategically at the same time. So y'all are focusing on that instead of the changes that are happening in the world, the changes that are happening in America, in other countries as well, leading up to the one world government, the one world currency, when the 2030 agenda will be fulfilled. It's all leading up to that right now. Everything we're seeing, it's all leading up to that. And they want to keep the people distracted to where one day y'all just going to wake up and it's going to be a whole new world. And you're going to be like, what happened? So yeah, I got a community coming for y'all. It's going to be free. Let me know if y'all want these updates. Y'all got to tell me y'all want them though, so that I can put this work in for y'all. Once again, this channel is not just for entertainment purposes. I don't care what you're watching on other channels that's similar to this. YT is here to wake you up. Y'all see the name of the channel. But listen, family, I appreciate y'all for watching. Peace to my Hebrew fam. Shalom. I will catch y'all on the next one.